Hi, and welcome to another episode of Convos podcast. Today, I am super excited because I got my girl, Dr. Jenny Graham, Miss J Chic Lifestyle. So, go ahead and tell my listeners who are you and what do you do?
Okay, hello everyone. So first, Dricka, thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to come and have this convo with you. So everyone, my name is Dr. Jenny J. Sheep Graham. I am the brand style curator at the J. Sheep Lifestyle brand. So we are a full service marketing and branding agency for entrepreneurs. We are actually the only business, style, and travel agency in the world. Okay. So I took my three loves and I built a global seven-figure agency that is all about elevation for entrepreneurs in branding, content, funding, and marketing in that order. We travel the world, put our signature brand style stamp on it, and empower others to do the same. So I'm super excited to be here, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I feel like you embody like branding, styling, and because you always traveling. You always look good. And of course, we got to get to the bag. That's why we're here to talk about getting to the bag. A lot of people think that getting a business or building a brand is all about like the foundational stuff, like just getting an LLC and getting a bank account. But then I feel like people wait until it's too late to start looking into funding sources and looking into some of those things that they need to kind of build a reputable brand, not just building a brand, because anybody can build a brand, but a brand that people want to support, people want to indulge, and people want to refer other people to, right? So you can build your clientele and build your network around that. So, what do you think is a key component to building a brand?
Well, and I like that you mentioned that because what the reason why those things are in the order that they are in branding, content, funding, and marketing is because they all build on each other. And I didn't realize when I came up with that order, I didn't realize that it was also in alphabetical order. So it was like literally the way that things are supposed to be done. So when it comes to building a brand, you first have to say, okay, besides the LLC, besides the business license, what do I want people to be able to say about me and my business when I am not in the room? How would they describe what it is that I do, what it is that I provide, how it is that I help when I'm nowhere around? And when you think about that, it's going to shape everything that comes afterwards. So if you want to be known for philanthropy, if you want to be known for being a connector, if you want to be known for being great in finances, whatever it is that you are wanting that brand to be known for, that's where you start with building the brand. Then
Mm-hmm.
it goes into, okay, this is my target. Okay, this is my audience. These are the people I'm connecting with. These are my partners. So building a brand starts with that first thought of what do I want? If no one knew me from a can of paint, they didn't know my mama had me, right? They
Mm-hmm.
knew I had my brand because you know our brands be our baby. What
Right.
would they say and how would they describe it when I'm not in the room? And that's where it starts with your brand.
I think that's important. Two things you said. One, our brand is our baby. Gotta play devil's advocate because I heard Connie Falls was like, we gotta get that narrative out of our head. Like our brand is not our baby. We gotta detach ourselves because that puts us into personal mode because it's like, we always preaching, don't take stuff personal and but you can't mix business and pleasure and you can't hire your family and all of those different things going around in your head. But as a new business owner, it's like what if I only have my family and I want them to experience what I'm experiencing or the success that I'm experiencing and things like that? So definitely I don't now since I've heard that and I've thought about it from a different perspective, I do feel like my brand is not my baby anymore. Like it
Mm,
has grown so much that it's not my baby anymore. Like at first it was like, oh, I am so attached. Like I would be up 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, figuring out email campaigns. And I was hiring people to do these things, but I was still like too hands on, you know what I mean? And like at the stage that I'm at now is like, let somebody else do it. I'm paying for convenience. But
right.
for new business owners, they oftentimes come in feeling like this is all I have and I got to put my all and my blood, sweat, and tears into it versus bringing a consultant or a strategist in to help you catapult your brand or catapult your campaign or your launch or whatever as you're building. Like you can build a brand and stuff changes. We walking in the stage of AI, working in the stage of virtual assistants that's across the world that you never get to meet, but you see them on Zoom every day, or you talk to them on the phone every day. And these are the people that are representing your brand that you've built. Another thing that we talked about Tuesday night was relinquishing and delegating tasks to people, not trusting people. That's something that you're not gonna trust everybody to watch your baby. We understand that. But if you think about your brand as your baby, you're gonna feel the same way. You're gonna be holding on to your brand and you're gonna be holding on to stuff that you built and put years into and all of these things because you feel like nobody's gonna do it like you. But that's holding you into a stagnant point in your business. What would you say are some challenges that you kind of overcame and started to delegate and allow people to come in and help your brand?
Okay, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go back to what you said, because it's gonna segue into the challenges.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
when people like talk about, think about when you raising your child, right? You want the best for your child. You
Hmm.
want to make sure that, um, and I can see this both ways. You want to make sure like don't nothing happen bad, I'm gonna take care. But as the child gets older, that's like my dad used to say, "Oh, you want to be able to ride your bike down the street? You got to be able to ride in front of these 5 houses first and not get in trouble or not get hurt before I let you go further on down the street."
Right,
As
right.
you grow and as you develop, I feel like um you change up the way that you do certain things, the control that you have, the leeway that you give it, the
Hmm.
coddling, the rocking it to sleep. Like, yeah, that's probably in the beginning, like, oh, okay, yeah, the baby, ooh, the baby. But
Hmm.
then baby gets older, they go off to school, so now they in daycare.
Hmm.
The people taking care of the baby. So I
Hmm.
feel we can look at it in not making it my all, but like
Hmm.
it's something that I have to take care of. And so when you mentioned what challenges have I faced in building a brand, that was part of it. Realizing that I can put my all to a certain capacity
Oh,
into
that's good.
into this business.
Hmm.
My all doesn't have to be my absolute all to where I'm totally depleted. My all can be at this particular stage. Okay, I got to do it. Either I got time or money. Either I'm gonna spend the time or I'm gonna spend the money. 9 times out of 10, you first starting out, you probably don't have the money to spend, so you
Hmm.
spend the time. So you're gonna be more hands on. But then
Right.
as you grow, and I had to realize that that was a challenge that I had. It was like all or nothing. It was like
Hmm.
go far or go home. And what
Right.
happens? Burn out fast. You're gonna go home and you're gonna be tired.
You ain't gonna have no time to go outside.
You ain't gonna be able to go outside. And so that was a
Listen, for
challenge for
real.
knowing what exactly to delegate. Like we talk about delegation, we talk
Right.
about letting go, relinquishing. I don't mind, but if I'm not doing it in the right way, then I'm
Hmm.
still gonna be having to go behind and check. And we gotta get out of the thing of, baby, what are you good at? Okay, that's what you good at, do that.
Hmm.
Somebody else to do the other stuff. If you
Right.
know you're not good at making flyers, baby, don't you spend 2, 3 hours on Canva trying to get this fly. It look like Canva. I can tell your Canva is peeking through your flyers. I just wanted to let y'all know that. Okay. I can tell. I know which template to use and everything, right? If that's not your thing,
Me,
how,
that's not my ministry.
yeah. Like if that's not your thing, baby, get you somebody to do it because that's their thing. And it
Hmm.
has to be all things when it comes to your business. And that was what I struggled with.
Hmm.
So once I figured out, okay, somebody else can do this. Somebody I can check it, see if it's good. And once after a while, it's not gonna be so many checks and balances because you're
Hmm.
gonna realize that that person got it and you're gonna move on and do the things
And
that
you
you
could be completely hands off. Like I think that's where I am like with my assistants. At first I used to like, let me see, make sure I check it, CC me on. And now it's like they could go to meetings without me. They can make decisions and tell me, hey, I made this decision. Because I needed somebody that's gonna be decisive. I needed somebody that's gonna say, hey, this is what I told the graphic designer, this is what we're working on, this is the campaign I think or the direction I think that we should be going in. And I can say, okay, let me just approve it. Like I think that's what being a CEO is about versus being an entrepreneur. You're like, I'm the face of the brand. There's so many brands out there that are faceless. Why do we want to be seen so much? Why do we want to show everybody that I'm the boss, I'm the big you don't
drink.
have to, if you the boss, you ain't got to do nothing but sign a check and show up. You don't have to be the person that's always doing every single thing and taking up all your time. Like another thing I was invited to speak for a speaking engagement. And I said, I don't have to take every invite that I'm invited to, right? I can send a representative of Carter Capital at this point. It's so many of us, and so many people are probably waiting on that opportunity, but they're not getting offered that opportunity. But if they work for this company or work with this company and they do have those opportunities, it's like, dang, this was my first speaking engagement based off a company. What job, giving you that opportunity? What job, giving you the opportunity to make unlimited income? What, like, it's more than just, okay, I work with Dricka or I work with Carter Capital. Like, it's benefits that's outside of the norm, vision, dental, medical, blah blah blah, right? You in stages or in rooms with millionaires and millionaire makers. It's people that can help you get to the next level, even if Texas was a stepping stone, or even if Carter Capital was a stepping stone, even if Jay Chic was a stepping stone. Like, I crossed paths with her and she gave me these gems for me to take off.
Yeah. And you know what? When you mentioned about the CEO part, I was just having a conversation. Like, it's funny that I have these like business, them be a lot of my conversations, but I was having
Yes.
a conversation the other day and we were talking about the real meaning of a CEO.
Hmm.
So I stopped calling myself a CEO. That
Hmm.
was, that was
Why?
so,
Tell me why, friend.
yeah, because so a CEO, like you said, they writing the checks, right? They're not, I'm still working. I'm still working. I'm sitting right here. This work, right? This fun, but I'm working. I'm still traveling. I'm still booking the engagements. I'm still doing the things. I'm still hands on in the business. So I
Mhm.
feel like when I say I'm a CEO, do I know the CEO of Target? Do I know the CEO of the big wealth management firms and the people that are higher up and doing the same thing that I do? No, I don't know them. I don't see them. I can't call them. I don't have their personal number. I don't even have a business number. I don't
Mhm.
know where they live. I don't know, like I can't touch them.
They're not accessible at all.
They're not accessible. And so when I fully say I'm a CEO, that means that Jay Sheik can fully run without me.
Without you being hands on, you could be completely hands off. I
So
like that.
people call me CEO and I'd be like, no. I think you even might have had it on my flyer. I was like, I'm just a brand style curator. Sometimes I introduce people. I don't even introduce myself as the owner because like you said, we are so like, I want to be I want to be known as the owner. I want to be, and what happens is some people won't do business with you because it's you. Some
Mhm.
people will
That's
literally
good.
whether they know you or not, they may just see you and man, it's a beautiful black woman doing her thing. Oh, you the owner? You know, they treat the owner different. Sometimes it's better and sometimes it's worse. And so
Right.
me personally, I want to come into it as I work for JC, and I do.
Mhm.
I have hours. I got to take my lunch break at a certain time. I got to take my
Exactly.
2
These are
15
the days that I work.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So when I think of CEO, I'm somewhere over in Tahiti with a margarita in my hand and getting me a full body massage on the beach,
Yep.
and my money is rolling in.
Rolling in
I
without
didn't
you
have
having to go
to
get it.
no, I didn't have to schedule no post. I didn't have to do like I didn't have to do none of that. So when you talked about CEO, that brought up a conversation that we had about what that actually really means, and that's just my viewpoint.
No, I think that it's an important viewpoint because a lot of times as entrepreneurs as an influx of black entrepreneurs, right? We had an influx over the last couple of years of black entrepreneurs that started businesses, just left their jobs, felt like, okay, I don't have a plan B at this point. I got this has to work, right? And I think it's a pivot. You have to pivot from being an entrepreneur, from a hustler to an entrepreneur to, and most people don't have all of those stages because they want to wake up and go viral tomorrow. But can you handle the capacity of going viral? Would you be able to fulfill all of those orders if you were to go viral today, right? Would your brand reputation go up or down based on the service or product that you're offering because you're the CEO? People
Mm-hmm.
have different expectations when you show up and you're saying, I'm the CEO. You
Yeah.
popping your collar and you popping your stuff, and I'm like watching your lives and I'm watching your videos and I'm seeing your results. And keep in mind, we always say people gotta see you 7 to 8 times before they decide to even purchase something from you. We got on a mastermind. First of all, we met from getting on a mastermind call that was on the phone. Like, hey, I remember being on the phone with y'all in my bed. We talked about whatever we did and and what we do. And how we like to meet each other. We had no idea that it was gonna be this. Fast
No,
forward that same day, I then drove to the office, went to the office, worked the whole shift, still on the phone with y'all. And
that
people
was
don't even understand like the
mhm.
connections that people bring into your life. Like we was on the phone with Melissa. Melissa like, oh, I'm gonna let you get on our mastermind call or whatever. And we just was running it. None of us knew each other. Now I'm cool with you. I'm cool with Bink. And we all talk because we had the right mindset in that moment. It's
Yeah.
nowhere in the world that you can just get buku women on the phone that don't know each other and everybody just vibe.
Yep.
It,
And
it doesn't happen that way.
I was in the bed. I was like, okay, y'all, I'll be back. I'll take me a little break and come back. And the thing is, when it's organic like that was
Mhm,
just organic. It wasn't, and me and you like instantly clicked. We like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when you get around the right people,
mhm,
man. I know you hear people say that, and it's like cliche, be around the right people. But
mhm.
for real, it's like really like life changing. That's just like Tuesday when we was doing a thing
Yep.
when we did the photo shoot. Everybody's just vibing and doing their thing. A lot of times, if you're not seeing the output that you want to get from your conversation, that means
Mhm.
you need to change who you having the conversations with.
Hmm.
It may not be your
Change your
friend.
friends or change your friends, like not
Yeah.
just being in a business of trying to change somebody or change their mindset. But guess what? I could change how I operate. And like, okay, when I go with these friends, we know we outside. When I go with these friends, we can have an intellectual conversation, but we
Mhm.
might still take some shots and be lit. Like, and I feel like it should be a balance of that. I feel like a lot of times people come into it looking for what can I gain from this? Or how can you help me get to where you at? And they don't want to go through the process. I feel like it's an entire process that you got to go through, starting with mindset and then
Yeah.
going on to other things. But your mindset, I feel like, let me say this, because a lot of people feel like, oh, I got to get around like-minded people. No, you don't. You have to get around people that think outside of the box. Because if everybody thinking the same, you're gonna wind up being in a room full of yes men. And I want to be around people that tell me, girl, that idea is no. All right, what about if you do it like this? Or
Mhm.
what if you do, like, give me a different perspective, right? Be on the outside looking in. Give me your challenges that you think that I will face if I launch this campaign. Give
Yeah.
me, like, give me something versus just saying, oh yeah, friend, knowing
Mhm.
my idea was crazy.
Yeah, no, I say I don't want to be around like-minded people. I want to be around like-grinded people
Oh,
because
that's
you know,
good.
that's what I always say. And so, and that's funny that me and you think the same way about things and
Mhm.
we know each other. Because I'm like, if we're gonna grind the same, we don't gotta think the same. So
Right,
keep your thoughts, and we may have some of the same thoughts. That's just like
right.
you said. Well, Connie Falls said this, and I'm like, yeah, and we like, I'm like, yeah, I agree. And then I think of it in this way, right?
Hmm.
But if you only wanted to be around like-minded people, then when you said that, I would have been like, girl, no, I said it's our baby. I said and so, but if you're like grinded, meaning that you're going to be all about getting it done, you both got the same grind. I don't
Yes.
like to say hustle because when I think of hustle, I think of like a scam. Hustle
When you
man gonna
say
help you.
hustle is, it just sounds exhausting. Like,
Yeah, I don't like to say hustle, but I do say grind, and so I'm like minded, like grinded, because that grind gonna be whatever you define it as. That grind may be 1 hour a day. It may be a 1 hour a day grind, but for that hour, baby, I'm going in,
I'm
right?
going in.
Like minded. I mean, like grinded, not like minded. That's it.
I like that. Like minded, not like grinded, y'all. Like, y'all, first of all, y'all know Jenny be dropping the mic. If y'all caught our live the other day, Jenny dropped the mic every single time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just end the live on that note because Jenny is one of them ones. If you ain't know, you better follow Dr. Mitch. I gotta put the doctor. Dr. Jenny Graham, J Chic Lifestyle. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with her. All right, so pivoting from, all right, we got the brand down pat. We understand what it takes to build a successful, reputable brand. All right, so going into content,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like people get overwhelmed when you mention content. People think content is only graphics. People think content is only making TikTok videos or dancing on the screen or getting, that one viral moment. What do you feel like is content centered around building a business?
Well, when I think about content, it's anything that you put out there, right? It's
Hmm.
anything. You're talking about your books, your ebooks, your podcasts, your
Hmm.
lives, your social media, of course. So people think when you hear content, The first thing they say is, "Well, I don't know what to post on social media." Content is bigger than social media, right?
Yes.
You
Come on with it.
it's even like people don't even realize that you when you set up your Google My Business listing, you can post on Google every day
Yes.
like you post on Facebook and YouTube and whatever else. We got to get out of the mindset of that social media is it. Like,
Hmm.
so when I say content, I'm talking about anything that you put out
Everything.
there to the world is content. And if you think too hard about it, you're not gonna do it. So what I
Hmm.
always tell my people is to think about it as I'm just sharing with you what it is that I have to offer. Now the different ways that I share it is when it comes to the marketing piece. But the content
Hmm.
is like, okay, you got your pictures, your graphics, your things like that. Like I said, you got your live, you got the podcast, books or ebooks,
Hmm.
magazines, white papers, case studies, reviews, like
Right.
all of that is content. So if you get in the mindset of the people are only going to know what I give them, then now it's like, okay, how can I, again, going back to the branding part, what do I want them to say about me? It's going to be based on what I put out there. So when I'm first building that brand, I'm building it and then I'm putting out the content that goes with it. See,
Hmm.
people getting it backwards. They be like, I need to know what to post. I need to know what to put out there, but they haven't built that brand first in their.
Right.
That's why my 4 steps they go in together so good because it all builds on the next one. So um people they'll laugh at me. My friends will laugh at me, be like, because I stay with my phone out, I stay with my camera, and if you don't think so hard about it, like even you taking your walking video or whatever like that, and you putting some tips on the screen of the
Hmm.
video, a few seconds. People attention span after 7 seconds, it's harder to keep them if you
Hmm.
didn't catch them in the first 7 seconds.
First, okay, right.
So yeah, so when you think about your content, you want to think about in that first step, really 3 to 7, but 7 is like the longest. But in that first 3 to 7 seconds that they're viewing or listening or whatever it is that they're doing, what have I done to hook them? And then
Hmm.
everything that comes after that is going to be, based on that. So when I think about content, I think about, making sure, of course, it's good to have a photo shoot. It's
Hmm.
good to have the,
Oh yeah, we're
the
gonna get into that too because that's
yeah.
yeah, we're gonna get
But
into that.
don't let it just all be that. Don't think you can't put out. And I used to have that problem because I
Hmm.
feel good at like taking pictures and stuff, and so I would only want to put out like my perfect picture if it looked like super amazing. And what happened was I started losing people because they couldn't identify with my life looking so perfect. And so
Hmm.
sometimes part of that content is you need to show that on this journey I hit a bump. On this journey, I made a mistake. On this journey, I thought it was this, it was that. On this journey, I lost some money. I lost some friends. I lost some people. Everybody don't have to have a struggle story, but I guarantee you that everybody has had some struggles. So,
Yes.
I think part of content is just don't think about it so hard and make it be that anything that you're putting out there is considered to be your content. Get on LinkedIn, get on Pinterest. People sleep on Pinterest. It's like y'all, it's so many more
Pinterest
places.
is lit.
I'm telling you, it's so
That's where
many.
you do all your mood boards. If you have a
Yep,
party coming up, you find so many ideas and everything on Pinterest. You can go down a rabbit hole on Pinterest. I will go down a rabbit hole on Pinterest before I go on TikTok.
yep, yep. And the thing is, when you think about what content you're gonna put out there, you think about if they're gonna see this, are they gonna want to purchase or utilize my services based on my content? I call it purposeful posting.
Hmm.
Purposeful posting. So if they see this, is it gonna make them want to say, you know what? She know what she's talking about. I need her services. That's what your content needs to be focused around. And then you mix it in. It don't have to be all business. You can mix it in and put in, people be like, I don't want people in my business. Baby, they're gonna only know what you post. They're not gonna come and read your mind. They're not gonna say, oh, she has 10 kids, and unless you put 10 kids out there. So when you think about
Hmm.
the content you put out there, what you want people to see, you
Right.
know, keep it authentic, keep it real. Don't be lying, don't be scamming, and, and just don't think so hard about it, and it won't be such a big deal.
Right. One of the things that you mentioned earlier was when you posting content, it's not just about social media. And for me, I feel like I struggled when I try to master like all of the different social medias. And I know like some of y'all listening might feel the same way. Like I'm working on Instagram. I got my crowd on Instagram, but now I can't seem to get with Facebook. Or I can't seem to get with Twitter or whatever social media site that you're on, right? I feel like I think Lane said this the other day, and she was like, "I just need to master one thing." So now I'm working on LinkedIn. Instagram is not my target audience anymore. Like it's cool over here, but I want to be laid back on Instagram. I don't want to be social selling on Instagram, whereas my target audience is on LinkedIn. So maybe you need to challenge yourself to go to a different social media platform and master that one and see what works best for your brand. Of course, me, I'm working more with business owners. So of course, LinkedIn, like I get all my bookkeeping clients from LinkedIn, stuff like that. But text clients, I get them from Instagram. So I kind of know where my traffic is coming from. Or if I go to a speaking engagement, people say, "Well, I've been following you, or I've been watching you on live, or like certain different things." They'll tell me like this would intrigue me about you, or this is why I came to your page, or I'm walking up to you, or whatever. But most of the time, people try to master everything at one time, and we have so many little gadgets and integrations on our phones that we post everything, all the same clips on all of the different platforms, and that kind of gets mundane. So people is like, if I'm following you here, I don't need to follow you on Facebook and LinkedIn and all these other places to see the same clip that I just saw on Instagram. So I think I struggled with like figuring out what's going to be my YouTube content and what's going to be my Facebook content. Like Facebook, I could get real vulnerable and write a long post, and people really talk back on Facebook. My audience talks back on Facebook. Instagram, you're going to get a like. That's it. They're not really in the comments like that. But my reach is high. It's crazy. Like my followers low, but my reach is high on Instagram. But I mean, I think you have to like kind of look at your analytics and really figure out what it is that you're doing content wise on each different platform. And again, every business is not on social media.
Yep.
We
Yep.
think that because that's what all of the businesses are that we follow, or all of the businesses that we patronize or whatever. But there's businesses that are thriving without social media at all. They just don't want to do it. And it's okay. But if you're a new business, I feel like you should be entering in the social media era.
Oh, that's a good. I like how you mentioned posting different things on different platforms because I'll be honest, I'm gonna click that button, post to Facebook, post it to Instagram, So I'm gonna take your tip and start to diversify my content for the different platforms because it's just easy to do it that way. But I,
Mm-hmm.
I do get different reactions on Facebook and Instagram. It is different. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you. I'm learning too. Look.
Listen, man, listen, it's so funny because everybody that listens or watch Convos say it's like mini master classes. So like who you gonna have on next? Like people have listened and started Airbnb, people have listened to started nonprofits. So it's so many different categories that we talk about here. And it's all about just getting money or diversifying your income in your portfolio, not just the business that you're in, but it's something that you might hear on here and say, damn, I was not doing that in my business until I heard y'all say that, or even go into depth about what it is that y'all struggle with. You might not even know that you're struggling with something until somebody brings it to your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing I wanted to ask you is so when we're talking about content that converts, I know you have currency to
Convo to currency.
Convo to currency. I know you have convo to currency. So we're talking about content that converts. How do we get content that's going to convert somebody? Because I'm here. That look at me as a small business owner. I'm trying to convince you that I have the best product on the market. I have clients that have told y'all I got the best product on the market. I have results. I have ROI. I have all of these things. But how can I show you guys, right? The people that have not patronized me yet, to that I have the best thing that's gonna what's the blueprint to convo to currency?
So the main thing that people want to see is that what you're doing works and has worked for other people. So
Mhm,
that's come in like your case studies. And people don't realize you can do like white papers, and research and when you're putting out there the success of what you've done and they can see themselves in the success. That's the
mhm,
thing. You can't be like, oh, I took somebody from zero to $1 million in a month and I can do it for you too, right? But when you say, hey, this person came to me, they had started their business, they weren't necessarily, making what they wanted to make, and I took them from, making $5,000 a month to now they doing 10K a month. And the
mhm,
person kind of like, you know what? I'm making $5,000 a month. And 10K, that's a good progression. And I can just only go up from there. So they have to be able to see themselves in the transformation that you're going to offer. A lot of people say business is all about solving problems. And to a certain extent, I agree with
It
that.
is
But
right.
yeah, I feel like more that it's about causing a transformation. When I used to work in banking real heavy. When I worked for Regions, it was all about their little buzzwords was like save time, save money, save this, and so it was a transformation from you know, um, not having enough time to run to the bank. So now we're doing online banking or whatever like that.
Right.
So when you're thinking about the transformation and you're talking about that transformation in your content, then that's where you're gonna hit them at. You gotta know them pain points. So if I know what your pain points are, I can talk about those pain points in my content.
Hmm.
I can talk about how, okay, I know you are not knowing what to post. I know that you're having a struggle with not wanting to share too much. Do
Right.
like this. Hire us. Bring us on. Let us come up with your content strategy. You want to be wrecking your brain trying to figure it out? I tell people, I'm your secret weapon to wealth. Use me. I'm your time machine. I'm
Hmm.
15 years in the game, 11 years of my own business, corporate America background, all of this. Use me instead of you trying to figure it out on your own. My transformation, my success stories are real, live, breathing success stories that you can
Right.
hit them up. You can hit them up in their DM and be like, girl, did Jay Chic really help you such and such, or is she just saying that?
Or is it app cap?
So right, are you capping or like is this for real? And then also with your reviews and things like that, video, they say a picture worth 1,000 words, video worth a million.
Hmm.
So can you get them on a do me a quick 30-second video, 30, 60 seconds, whatever, talking about how you enjoyed this, that, and the other. Are you putting that out there? I have over, I think almost 200 5-star reviews on Google. I don't
Hmm.
even get out there enough of sharing those reviews and people want to see it's monkey see monkey do. They
Hmm.
want to see that what
I
you're
want to do what she did.
yeah. Have
Mhm.
you done it for somebody else? Can I really see that in your work? Do I see the transformation that you can bring for me? So when you talk about content converted to currency, you got to show them the transformation. You got to show them what their life could be by doing business with you,
Mhm.
and you have to show them people that you've already done it for in the past, even if you one of the only success stories that you got. So if you took your business from whatever to whatever, if you're that success story, share that until you
Mhm.
get more. But the combo that the content that converts the currency gotta see that transformation. It
Right.
can't just be like buy, 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 buy. What
Mhm.
about the value add? And I know the value add that's kind of a buzzword right now. But in
Right.
all reality, I don't only want to buy from you. I want to see how you can even before I spend a dime with you, how can
Mhm.
I gain from being, in your circle or in your or on your page or whatever like that.
I think that's important. I feel like another part of that is Jenny does these challenges, y'all. And that, when I tell you, most of the time when you do challenges, people show up like the first 2 days and they fall off and then life happen and then it's like, oh man, I gotta catch up and they never catch up, right? And I feel like with your challenges and you bringing back the academy, we're gonna get into that right quick. What do you think that? What do you bring in? What is the value change with you reopening the academy?
Well, what I realized, and this goes back to sharing, your struggles or your mistakes. What I realized was that it was kind of a over pour of it was a lot.
Oh, that's
Um,
another one.
yeah,
Overpour, yes.
yeah, it was a lot. And so the way my brain works, it's like, yeah, I don't know how to describe how my brain works. But I think I was giving them too much to be able to consume in a short period of time. So my academy used to be 4 weeks, and we would do 1 week focused on each of the pillars, and it just
Mhm.
wasn't enough time.
Right.
So the way I'm changing is I'm adding in study halls, I'm adding in Q&A sessions, I'm adding in recaps, so that as we're learning these things, I want to be able to be seeing the implementation as we go along. I don't
Mhm.
have to wait to the end And then I'm checking in and I'm like, okay, have you done such and such and such? And you like, oh yeah, I'm on lesson one. I'm getting ready to go back and get it. No, I want to go
I
along
want
with
you to
you.
keep up, right?
Exactly, and be able to bring in other experts that can go along with you as well. So that's one of the biggest things is not giving two. We don't have to only have one session a year. You
Hmm.
know, I'm not gonna just do one academy a year. Now it's at the least it's an 8 week academy. And then sometimes you can be too long. Like unless I'm in college, I don't want to be at nothing for no year, and it shouldn't take
Right.
So, you got to find that sweet spot.
Sweet spot, yes.
Now we're toying around with in between 8 to 12 weeks. We kind of running through it and kind of seeing, how it's going. But I kind of pulled back some. And then this is another part, y'all. We think that people know the things that we already know. So how I sit
Hmm.
here and I just said like white papers, and it's somebody that's probably sitting right there that's saying, "Oh, what is a white paper?" Because we think that people already know. So the
Hmm.
other part of sometimes you got to go back to them prereqs.
The
When you
base,
were in
yes.
school, you had to go take this class before you can take this class. You had to
That's
take.
good. You
You see,
giving me a tip because I feel like in my academy, I need to offer prereqs. Like I've gone back and uh kind of like went back into my programs and did a welcome video, showed them how the portal looks, how to move in the portal versus just saying, okay, my video's in there, y'all got a portal. Because people will skip around like, oh, this title is intriguing. What it is, because this is what I want to know. And then they come back to you asking questions, and it's like, did you watch this?
hmm
You like, oh, they like, oh no, I skipped that. You
hmm
shouldn't be allowed to skip steps because, like I said, you always when you skip steps, like if you were to wake up tomorrow and win a lottery,
hmm
you skipped steps. Like, yeah, we made money. Like we know how to make money, we know how to manage money, we know how to do all of the things with money, right? But if you wake up tomorrow and you hit the jackpot and now you're a billionaire, that's different from being a millionaire. That's different from being a 900,000aire. It's different, right? And then when you hit the lottery, it's like, well, now I got money to do whatever I always wanted to do. You skipped all of the steps on knowing how to still be practical, knowing how to make the right decisions, because now it's like you have that overpour of
Yeah.
money into your account and into your life, and it's going to change the whole trajectory of your life
Mhm.
versus you going through the process of making the money on your own.
Yeah.
I always feel like money that's given to you or thrown to you or charity or whatever is always going to be spent faster than money that you earned because you're not thinking about that. You wasn't even anticipating that money coming in. But when the money does come in from another source, it's like, okay, well, I got a little extra to do this or extra to do that. Whereas most people wouldn't think, oh, I could save or pay debts or do. You ain't thinking about that first when you get money. You're not. Let's be real. We only gonna keep it real over here.
We
That
gonna
ain't the first
start.
thing
I
you
want the
doing.
red wall.
You're
I
like,
want
I want a
to.
40-inch wig.
You hear me?
I want a
Indonesian,
Maybach.
Indonesian baby, nothing raw Indonesian. Okay.
Raw, okay.
Mhm.
I need the highest cheek I may have to keep it straight.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That's so funny. So, all right. So, speaking of content and currency that converts, right now, I want to get into funding because we're going through all of your pillars, right? And getting into funding. And I think that a lot of people wait to get funding when it's too late or when it's not peak season. I feel like people should look into funding or other sources of revenue coming into their business versus wait until, okay, now I'm gonna use myself for example. Tax season is over, right? Peak tax season is over. We still doing taxes, but not as many as we will be doing during peak season. So like maybe yesterday or the day before I did like 4 returns, and yesterday I did like 2, right? But on a peak season day, I'm touching like 30 returns by myself, like not counting with the team submitting or whatever, right? And so people looking for funding, and now it's not peak season anymore, and they're saying, oh, how can I get funding? Because I'm using all my money on my business and I'm using all my money out of my pocket. I'm like, well, if you're using all your money out your pocket, that means the business isn't making any money, right? That's how I'm looking at it when people walk up to me and tell me that or call me and ask me questions about how can I get funding or a grant. They want to invest into somebody that's already making money. You don't want to show up to the bank desperate saying, hey, can y'all please give me $50,000? I promise I'll get it to you whenever.
Right. Well, IOU. Right.
Whenever I make it, I got y'all. Nobody won't hear
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to the funding part, I think that people have to be fundable. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. That's what combo the currency was born for, because there were so many people that I want more money in my business or I need more money in my business, but they were not fundable. And when I talk about being fundable, like, is your business set up that you can receive what it is that you're trying to get? And people think when you hear funding, the first thing they think about is business credit, but that's just part of it,
Right.
right?
One
You know,
source of funding.
it's just one source of it, because when we do combo the currency, which is going on tour with us too, but when
Mm-hmm.
we do it, it's like all multiple ways in there that you can get money. We're talking about tax planning, we're talking about financial advising, insurance, personal and business credit and personal credit, real
Mm-hmm.
estate, land, government contract, um working with CDCs, which are community development corporations, co
Mm-hmm.
accelerators. Like, people, a lot of times they'll go out and say, "Oh, I want to get this grant, or I want to get this loan, or whatever." But what about if you can get accepted into a cohort program or an
Mm-hmm.
accelerator that's not only going to give you the money, but also going to give you the coaching or the mentoring or
Mm-hmm.
the opportunities for other things? We got to get out of the mindset of only
I
wanting the
just want
money.
the money. Yes. Oh my God. Like people don't want the mentorship. Like people don't want to trust the process. They just want to come in and say, okay, so tomorrow is this whatever you telling me right now going to give me money tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
you do the work, yeah. But if you just listening to what I'm saying and going off what I'm saying, because when we get off here, I'm going on about my day. I don't have another meeting until 4 p.m. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be stuck behind the computer anymore. And I think coming from corporate, I was designed to, I got to be in the office. I'm paying for this
Mm-hmm.
office. I'm going to be in this office. But guess what? You got a home office. You can work from home. You can work from your bed if you want to. Like you're not in the space that you're being micromanaged, that you have to sit behind a computer all day to get your job done. Even like some of my mentees will come to me and say, well, I'm working on this and I got this going on. Do you think there's a grant out there specifically for this? There's grants out there for a bunch of things, but are you fundable? Like, is your foundation set? Do you have the business bank accounts that you need and have them structured how they need to be? We don't want to see your business bank account ending balance at zero.
Yep.
No one's
Yep.
gonna want to fund that. Like, I feel like when you said they have to be fundable, it all goes back to your foundation. So like you said, building that brand, building that content, people look you up. I'm glad that when they Google me, they see good things. Like they Google my business, not just me, but my businesses. You can Google my businesses and see the reviews from my Airbnbs. You see the reviews from my text preparation. You see the review, you see the results on every, you see reviews from my podcast, right?
Yep.
So it's so many different avenues that you can say, oh, this is a legit person, versus going on Google and you just see the Instagram page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you mentioned something about having all your stuff in order. I always tell people, I'm gonna give y'all this gym for free, right? I always tell people to get you a file on your computer where you
Mhm.
got all of your paperwork in there. You got your LLC paperwork, you got your EIN, you got your bank statements, you got your tax forms. All of that is in this file on your computer, right? So that when you see an application for a grant or you see an application for a cohort or an accelerator, you don't got to go scrambling around trying to get all of this information together. You're going to go straight to that file. You're going to do it. You're going to, pull it out and be able to send it right. You see, when you ask for my information, to be a part
Talk
of
about it. Everybody's like, you need all this? Go ahead,
baby,
talk about it.
I, man, I was rolling it. I was rolling it out. I think I got it back to you the next day because I
Mhm.
had all of everything that I needed right there. So I would tell anybody that's looking to become fundable, start with making sure you got that foundation set. But when you're setting that foundation, keep it all in one place. You can
Mhm.
even make an intro video and save it on your computer. Prop your phone up. You don't have to make it no whole big deal. And make
Right.
you an intro video describing who your business is, 60 seconds or less. A lot of these grants or accelerators or things that you want to be a
Asking
part of,
about
they
videos.
gotta ask for that. And most people, when they see that video part, they click off. They be like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna do
Mhm.
it. But as the cliche, the saying goes, if you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. So if you
Hmm.
already got it there, maybe you
You
need
should
to
have
tweak
your
the
30-second
verbiage.
elevator pitch already ready. You
There you
should
go.
already you should
Yep.
already be ready. Like you said, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
So
that.
be fundable, like, and then you gotta have some skin in the game. When
Hmm.
I talk about the currency, we also talk about venture capital, like venture capital, silent investors, angel investors, and
Hmm.
things of that nature. Because when you go and be talking about getting some real money and getting some real funding, they're gonna see what skin in the game you got, what blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, what money. You can't come to me saying, like you said, I want 50K, but you haven't even spent 5K
Hmm.
on your own business,
Right.
right? You gotta be fundable. It goes a lot deeper, of course, but for the main part, you gotta show that this your baby or not your baby, depending on how you think. But
Well, no, depending on what stage you at. I'm gonna say that. Depending on
right,
what stage you at, because you do have to kind of like plant that seed and watch it grow. So it is in some forms your baby
yeah,
in the beginning stages. But like
right,
we know in business there's stages to business. So it's like your growth stage, your startup stage, your maturity stage, right? So once you get to that growth stage, your business is not your baby no more. You should have some people in there that's continuing to water that soil that you've already planted on that seed.
right. And it's like, where do you, if you're at whatever stage you are at in the business, what have you done before you want me to care about your business? Why what have you done to show how much you care about your own business? You can't
Right.
come asking me for my money, asking me to be a part of my program, asking me to do this, asking me to do that, when your business doesn't look like you care about it. It doesn't look like you put it first. It doesn't look like you about what you be talking about. Okay. So I just feel like when it comes down to being fundable, that you really gotta put that work in on the front end, so that you can have something to show when you're going and trying to get funding or whatever it is that you're trying to get for the business.
Okay, so we talked about the tour. We talked about you reopening the academy. Now let's talk Toronto, and then we're gonna play a game, and I'm gonna let you go. But
Okay.
what are you bringing to the stage in Toronto? Like, I'm so excited to have you here for our fourth annual World Development Summit, where we talk about daily struggles and also successes of entrepreneurship. Like on the first year when I started the summit, it was basically only for tax professionals and credit agents, and it was basically giving them every little step that they need, from advertising to marketing to banking to digital social media and social selling, giving them insurance insights, making sure that they have business insurance, because I think that a lot of people start businesses and don't get business insurance, and if something happens, or if they don't have errors and omissions, or if a hurricane happens, now you out of the office, you out of work, or you displaced, you can't work, so you can't bring in that revenue. Like, it's a bunch of different ways to continue to have a contingency plan for your business, right? And so that was the initial year. And then the second year, I was like, we got to take this on a road, because I saw how many people, drove in and flew in for something like this. So I was like, let's take it on the road. We went to Tennessee, and that year was like, we got a black conference in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Like, what y'all doing here? What y'all do? And everybody just was looking like, this is different. Like, can we just pop in? No, you have to get a ticket. Like, it's closed. This is a closed session. And we kind of brought yoga in. We brought some more insurance agents in. We brought the tax bank in to show tax business owners how they could get 100K in funding with no credit check, just based on their tax business volume and things like that. So it was just stuff that people didn't know that they had access to. And we just brought it to the forefront. And I'm so, grateful for the people that are pouring into the summit. And then year 3, we took it international, and we went to Tulum. Tulum had us in the chokehold. We kept on laughing at that the other day. And
Man,
now we got Toronto coming in less than 50 days. And we're literally excited to bring you to the forefront and pour all of your gems. Because I love when you be on Instagram and you be saying, y'all picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm telling you, I'm super excited for Toronto. So what I'm gonna be bringing, I'm going to be focusing on, of course, the content that converts to currency, and then
Mhm,
I'm also be like how to define that signature brand style statement. So I know we talked about like not just style like what you wear.
mhm,
When I talk about brand style, and it's not branding because I know we got our branding person.
mhm,
It's when remember how we said, what do you want people to know you for? What, like, it's kind of more so what's setting you apart. So when I talk about signature brand style statement, it's like, who are you and how do you portray that in your content that's going to convert to the currency? So it all goes in together. So I'm super excited to bring just a new mindset that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to their business. So that's why signature brand style statement is different for everybody. So
Hmm.
how can you define that for what who you are and who your brand is or what your brand is and portray that out to the world. And then we've got of course we got the photo shoots and things. So I'm really good at, helping with posing and making sure that everybody is what's on comes out from the camera is what you really wanted it to be. So I'm
Right.
excited to be working heavily on that content piece with everybody.
That's that's dope. I just feel like a lot of times business owners, like females and males, have different perspectives on business, and a lot of time men don't show up to these type of events. They'll send their assistant, or they'll send their woman, or they'll come as a duo, but they're not actually sitting down taking the next steps that they need to take. I do like to see a lot of different. There's a bunch of men that are out, like in our spaces or whatever that we see, but the up and coming men, they just do the work. They not really into the business side of it, and then they leave it up to somebody else. But I feel like attracting more men to come to the summit and letting them know, hey, your brand has a presence, or figuring out what your brand signature brand statement could be, or your brand style statement could be, or what kind of content you could be putting out there as a male figure in the trucking industry, in the real estate development stage, or in the short-term rental space. Because I feel like women in business dominate, and men in
Mhm.
business still make the money, but they're not showing, hey, this is what I do, or this is what I've been doing for X amount of years. And I think it's important that we made this a co-ed event, and we made, men feel comfortable coming to the forefront and saying, I didn't know that, or I don't understand taxes, I don't understand accounting, I just bring the lady my papers. Because I have so many men that come to me and they just like, here you go, Drake, cook me up. They're not even trying to get the education that I'm explaining to them. And I'm like, listen, you make a lot of money. We don't need to write all this stuff off. Because now when you go to get funding, they're going to tell you no, because you look like a business that's not profitable. And we don't want to show that. Like, I think that that's important, and that's why I keep on expressing that to our community. Stop writing everything off. Stop
Yeah.
listening to people that tell you you can live a tax-free life, and you see where they got other people ended up at. Like nobody is, nobody's above taxes. Like these people can shut your whole life down, put liens on your houses, your cars, your garnish your checks, all of these things, because you're not taking care of your business. And I want y'all to be educated on taxes, and educated on business all the way around the board. Like you said, different access to capital, CDFIs, CDCs, banks, credit unions, all of those things, and being able to leverage your personal credit if your business credit isn't established like that. So not just saying, oh, well, I'll figure it out, or I'll pay you whenever. We can't keep doing that. We can't keep living like that, because we're breaking cycles, and not just breaking cycles. I feel like we're creating generational wealth. Not just break, it's not everybody not breaking the cycle. Some
Mhm.
people are creating that generational wealth that they want to see or not see, right? They want their kids to see down the line. Like my mama wasn't living like this. There's no way in the world your kids should be struggling, my kids should be struggling, because they see we already did the struggling for you. We already paved the way for you. We already established your credit when you was a teenager. We paying for your college, or you got scholarships already, because we already did the work. So now it should be easy to you. You should never have a rainy day because of what I taught you, right? And I think that as adults, we have to kind of like, still be that village for each other, as well as be the village for the children.
No,
On a,
definitely.
on a lighter note, let's play a quick game. This is my favorite game of the show. We always play this or that. So of course, this or that is basically you have to be decisive. And I'm gonna say two things. You gotta choose one. No elaboration on, oh, I like both of them, but what about no? Just fast, right? And so I would start with, you travel a lot. So let's say, when you're traveling, would you rather go on a cruise or a flight?
Of like,
Man, I really want to know why, because so many people say I ain't getting on no cruise, but okay,
well, no, I like cruising, but the reason I say flight is because I don't want to have to leave. Like I only can spend 8 hours there or whatever. Like I want to be able
yeah.
to spend a night there and indulge in the culture and stuff like that. That's the only reason. But I like cruising too. But if I had a choice, I'll pick a flight over
Okay, so summer or winter?
summer, definitely.
Heels or boots?
Heels,
Money or credit?
money or credit. Give me the credit.
Give you the credit. I feel
Mm.
like I definitely feel like give me the credit now. Like in my younger days, I was like, Give me the money. I don't care how I pay for it. I ain't worrying about that. If they tell me no, like with my cash, nobody can tell you no, but they can literally. But you know, what about being an entrepreneur versus being like a high person in the corporate world?
High person in the corporate world. Sign me up.
Wow.
Right now. Right? Sign me right. I don't know
Wow.
what I was thinking, baby. I've been 11 years full of foolishness, baby. Sign me
I'm right
up.
behind you. It's crazy. Like entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. Like you have your days, and I feel like enough of us don't talk about the days. Most of us is like, all right, whatever, because we so used to just keep going. Like once you've been doing it for so many years, it's like, okay, whatever, keep going. What's the next solution?
Yep. Sign me up, girl. I'm on the next.
I
I'm
digress.
in orientation tomorrow. Sign me up. I'll be in orientation sitting there with my suit on, baby, ready.
That's funny. Okay, podcast or playlist?
Playlist. I'm a music head.
Netflix and chill or date night?
Date night.
Girls' night or a night with your man?
I ain't got no man, girls.
If you had a man, you going with the man or you going with your friend?
If I had a man, I would definitely say date night with my man.
My man, you one of them.
Yeah, I'd be my man, my man, my man. Them girls would be all right. We'll go to brunch. Date night, because I ain't going home with y'all. I'm going with my man.
I
Hey,
know that's right. You warm girl summer.
a little lukewarm. You know how the Bible say you a little lukewarm. You want two opinions, baby.
Yes, yes. I really appreciate you, Jenny. Tell everybody where to follow you at and how to get in touch with you.
All right, everybody. So wherever you are looking in the world, you can find me at J Chic Lifestyle. It's the same everywhere. It's spelled just like it sounds. JCHIC Lifestyle. I am all over everywhere. Like I said. Also, you'll be looking for me in a city near you. So make sure that you do follow me and find me at J Chic Lifestyle on all networks so that you can stay abreast of everything that we have coming, so you can, turn your notifications on. You can make sure you see what we're doing because we are going on tour with Combo the Currency. We're going on tour with our Sit Style and Socialize events. We're going on tour with our Brand Your Way to the Bank. So it's a lot of opportunities that you're going to be able to have to meet us in person and to really get like all of this goodness and this energy in real life. So thank you for having me. Check me out all over everywhere at J Chic Lifestyle. And hey, man, I'm gonna tell y'all where I'm gonna see y'all at. As always, I'm gonna see you at the top.
Yes, ma'am. I always end with saying, of course, people that want to see you win help you win. And I'm one of those people that want to see you guys winning. And well, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Convos. Make sure you follow me, your host, Dricka M. Carter, on all platforms, and as well as our guest co-host for the day, J Chic Lifestyle. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.